with the W. The Western Conference NBA playoffs, round one, continues. The Los Angeles Lakers are staring right in the face of a Game 6 showdown. Do they have the fortitude to close out the series? Now is their time to try and avoid a Game 7 against the Kings. Round one of the NBA playoffs continues.
We've already got quite a series on our hands, folks, and this is only the first round. Game 6 in the West. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Lakers going up against the Sacramento.
Abilities, can you be beneficial? Don't know how I got these enemies, but I got bigger pistols, bro.
When I got a pay cut, Dave helped me get cash. Up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. I definitely use Dave to pay bills in advance. I can also eat pizza, go roller skating, and enjoy life. Download Dave today.
Last night, Knicks and Sixers. Knicks had won their last 3 playoff games by at least 25 points, longest such streak ever. Last night, tight one. Fourth quarter, Knicks down 2, and then Monica, it was Jalen Brunson's time.
Yeah, the Knicks did a tremendous job of getting through the paint in this one with a smaller version of this Philadelphia 76ers squad.
More Brunson dancing in the lane, Allen.
Yeah, it had to be a matchup of the point guards now in this one, and Jalen Brunson was ready for it. Tyrese Maxey dealt with a lot of defense.
4 minutes left in the game. This is one of the storylines. The Sixers have been shooting the 3 so well all night, but ran out of steam in the fourth. And then it's Brunson putting on a show. Look at him dancing with the ball. He would score 26. That gives the Knicks a 4-point lead. 3.5 to play. Michael, the Sixers 1 of 10 from 3 in that fourth quarter.
After being 12 for 24. 50% three-point shooting early, and then this. And these are good looks. Open. The Knicks can play stifling defense. They just missed.
And this was a critical moment in the game right here. I want you to watch. That's the kick out and they knock down a 3 there. But watch OG Anunoby right there. We have the spot shadow.
He normally dunks this easily.
Little quick hop there, and it's obviously bothering him there. Injures the leg, running back up the floor. You can see him limping, gestures to the bench, takes himself out, leaves and doesn't return. Update coming in a minute. Meanwhile, Tyrese Maxey takes it to the hole. He would score 26. They cut it to 5. 30 seconds left. 5-point game. Not exactly sure why Paul George hoists this one.
Yeah.
almost looks like a desperation shot.
Almost
was it? And it's not, the shot clock was not running down late in the game, but one way or another, that was sort of their last breath. And so the Knicks hold on, and they win one that was good to the last drop. The Knicks have now won 5 straight playoff games, tied for their second longest playoff win streak ever. Their longest since winning 6 in a row in '99. They went to the finals that year. New York now minus 1,000 to win the series after taking the 2-0 series lead. And let's start with what we know about OG Anunoby, because that feels like the most important piece of this storyline here. I mentioned in the open, the team that wins may wind up being the loser in all of this. You guys are there. Do we know anything about what to expect as far as the injury on Anunoby?
After the game, Mike Brown said that there was no update at all about him, that they were still waiting to get, like, medical's got to go through what they go through with him. And so right now it remains the same. There's nothing new about OG Anunoby's situation. It is something to keep an eye on, though, for Game 3. This is a guy that, while we talk about Towns and Brunson, he's shooting 61% from the field in the playoffs and 53 from three-point range. He's as critical to their success as anybody else they have on this team.
He scored 24 points last night and was his usual dominant self before leaving. And look, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. That looks like the way he's moving looks like players do when they have something with their hamstring. And we've seen that be so prevalent. He's had problems with it in the past. We've seen it so much in the playoffs when these guys are playing long minutes, and he played long minutes again last night.
Yeah, and I think what you mentioned, Green, in terms of the history is probably the thing that is most alarming. Knicks fans are all too familiar with him not being quite right late into the postseason. Hopefully, though, and this is where it's going to be interesting, the schedule is important for both of these teams. Hopefully, though, the Knicks can create enough distance in this one that he has ample time to get back on the right.
Well, that's why winning that game from a Knick perspective was so critical last night. Gives you the cushion so that if he's unavailable, you can be cautious with him, whatever it is. So, Wendy, that's that piece of it. The Anunoby injury feels like a huge piece of it. Now let's go bigger picture. The series is 2-0 Knicks. What's your number one take?
Well, this is not going to be a series that is really going to depend on who's available, because Joel Embiid, a late scratch for this game, and while the Sixers played very well and defensively they were able to do some things against the Knicks that they wouldn't have been able to do if Joel was out there. They missed Joel Embiid at the end of this game. When this game came down to the fourth quarter, when it was a possession game, the Knicks are extraordinarily comfortable in those situations. They were a top 3 clutch team in the league, and that's not a surprise. Look at how they're equipped. They have floor spacers, they have great pick and roll partners, and Jalen Brunson in isolation is simply awesome. He's one of the best clutch players in the league. But Philly didn't have that big man to throw it to. Yes, you rely on some 3-point shooting, and sometimes you go cold, but this game would have had a completely different look if Philly had Joel Embiid to throw it to. And quite frankly, OG Anunoby is maybe, if not the best two-way player left in the playoffs, one of the best two-way players left in the playoffs, and his availability going forward is key. So the Knicks have a cushion here, but the injury reports coming out ahead of Game 3 will be vital.
Let's talk about Embiid a little more. All 4 of us at this desk were at the game last night. So before the game, I was asking anyone that I could get close to, do you think they're better off without him? Do you think they actually have a better chance to win without him? And universally, everyone said no.
No. And if they had thought that he was going to miss last night, they would have held him out Monday night. They would have held him out Game 1.
Yep.
It wasn't really strongly considered because he wanted to play. He wanted to play last night. But they saw that he was not ready physically to play. We saw how he was dragging himself back and forth on Monday in Game 1. And so by the time you see that, though, it's too late. So hindsight is they would have held him out of Game 1. He would have gotten those 3 or 4 days rest between then and Game 2 and played him last night. They'd had a much better chance in Game 2. So that's huge. Anunoby has been the Knicks' best two-way player.
Yeah.
Look, Brunson was great in clutch time because that's what Brunson does now. 9 for 21. The Philly defense did okay on Brunson last night. The 2 clips we saw of those great shots he hit late, they were the shots that put the Knicks ahead. But with Anunoby situation now, not knowing what it is, Embiid missing, do I expect Embiid to miss Friday night? From what I heard last night from the Sixers, no, I would not expect that. He's going to have to go through, as Alan talked about, with his medical and training staff. He's going to go through some phase. But this is about who is going to be able to play better, be better in the moment without a critical player.
So we were talking this morning, Monica, you and I, about the impact that his absence had on the game. The sort of smaller lineup was working for them, but then it does appear they ran out of gas in the fourth
quarter. There were two things that I noted about the way the Sixers started yesterday. Yes, we knew it was going to be faster, but they also were very deliberate about being more physical with the Knicks, right? Like, it was carte blanche in game one. And so that means bumping cutters. That means just staying attached to guys trying to get over the screen. These are all things that are basically body blows. So by the time you got to the fourth quarter, they went 8 deep by force last night. I think the preference would have actually been probably to go 7. And so you saw the stamina literally coming out of them. Now, Greeny, this was a question this morning that I looked at in terms of the Sixers, but it also applies to the Knicks now with the OG Anunoby thing. The sixth man becomes a scheduling issue for both of these teams now because there's only 1 day to recover until you force a game 7.
And the amount of minutes that you had to have Tyrese Maxey play in this game because you didn't have Embiid. You know, the Knicks had 3 players get over 20 points. He was the only one for the Sixers that got over 20. Embiid's a guy that can get to 20 in his sleep, so that's a big difference. As you see the schedule, there's no days off, those extra, I should say, days off that you might normally get, so there's very little time for rest, although there's not much travel between the two cities, which is helpful. But the question is the battle of attrition now because of this schedule when it comes to the Sixers and their limited lineup that they have, especially without Embiid. And it really is Maxey that I'm looking at because the Knicks defense last night, they were trapping him. Mikal Bridges did a fantastic job on him. Think about this. In the Boston series, Maxey was not turning the ball over at all, averaging under 2 turnovers a game for a guy that has the ball in his hands a ton. In 2 games so far in this series, 10 turnovers. He had 6 last night, and a lot of it was because of the force that the Knicks played with in getting the ball out of his hands, forcing him to be a passer. And when you don't have that extra option of that big guy that can draw fouls, that can draw a lot of energy and attention, I think it makes the game a lot harder when you're playing 47 minutes.
I think that note on the screen is a fascinating one. I want you to take this in for a moment. Tyrese Maxey played all but 1 minute and 12 seconds of this game.
Looking now at the lineup for both teams tonight, some names out of action.
And in the postseason, health always such a big factor. Neither team at full strength. No excuses. You gotta find a way.
Here are the starters for Los Angeles. Tuck out there with Hastings. Then it's Johnson. Then there's Allen Iverson. And it's Westbrook in at the point. And for the Kings, they've got O'Neal. Harden out there with Robertson. Then there's Kevin Love. And it's Nba2k26 at the 3, the small forward. Take a look at the Kings. And we know the Reds are against the wall. No room for error in this elimination game.
The home court team in the moment. Can't look ahead to a game 7. Take it 1 game at a time.
O'Neal finds Harden. It's a pick by Love. Harden bounce pass. 5 on the clock, and stolen by Iverson. Inside. And it's not a mistake on the strong time.
Excellent on both ends of that pass.
Yeah, the steal was sharp, but the slam kept it on. And that's why you want to run on to it.
I don't know how long contact is just part of the job. He gets bodied up almost every time he takes it inside.
Iverson pass to Hastings. Can't connect from short range.
The defense had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
Shaq can't hit. And there's Johnson outside. Here's Hastings.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
I agree. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. Back to Robinson. Stolen by Westbrook. The try by Iverson,
It's so difficult to keep up with.
Lakers shooting their first foul shots of the night here. So neither attack will call that time for.
They see that coming.
Outside, down to Kimbo. And Harden wide open. He shoots. making this like his second of two attempts. Well, a sharp start for them. 3 and 4 from the field. No good with the layup. Oh, nice job protecting the rim. Turning an easy bucket into a miss. Yeah, so skilled offensively. Getting the ball in his hands is generally a good idea. Love outside. Stolen by Duncan. Goes up. Throws it to the corner.
He's such an incredible defender. Duncan, so clever, and coming up there with the steal to ignite the break.
The Kings trail by 5. Robertson outside. The kick out to Kumbo. Orlando's with the rebound. They come into this one after losing on Sunday.
Wasn't terrible, but they had to tighten it up. Did not happen.
Seems like they did all they could, and sometimes it still doesn't go well. Timberleaf check in for Sacramento. Wilkins comes in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. English, he's checked in for Los Angeles. Brown comes in for Allen Iverson. A minute 50 left to play in the first quarter. And Ted Christie wants a timeout. He's going to take a few more.
Why don't we start less than a mile away at Madison Square Garden, where they're probably still partying out on 7th Avenue. The Knicks outlasting the 76ers 108-102 yesterday. Joel Embiid was ruled out on Wednesday afternoon with an ankle and hip injury. Jalen Brunson pulling off more fourth quarter heroics that led New York with 26 points. But, as Stephen A. alluded to, the win may be overshadowed by some potential injury news. The Knicks lost forward OG Anunoby with about 3 minutes remaining in the game, an apparent right leg injury after a dunk attempt. Post-game, Mike Brown didn't really provide much of an update on Anunoby's status. And it was a back-and-forth battle in New York all night with 25 lead changes in Game 2. That's the most in a playoff game in 11 years. And it was also featured. The game had 14 ties. Neither team here led by more than 7 points in this game. So, Stephen A., the bigger headline here, the Knicks coming out on top, or the fact that they have a 2-0 lead in the series and knowing that OG Anunoby and the injury news is still up in the air?
Well, it's the latter. It's the latter because of OG. Because the reality is that we expected the New York Knicks to be up 2-0 the second that we heard Joel Embiid was going to be out for Game 2. They better have won that damn game. So we anticipated that the New York Knicks would be up 2-0. We anticipated that big body Brunson, as you so eloquently call him, would do his thing. We anticipated that OG Anunoby shoot better than 50% from the field, drop 24 points last night, would do his thing. I saw that stroke late from Mikal Bridges. Very proud of that brother. Got on him for weeks, but damn it, he has shown up. You understand? Since Game 5 of the Atlanta Hawks series, Mikal Bridges has shown up. Let me keep that same energy, Will Barr, and give him the love that he deserves. Got to inspire the brother. Got to push him. Got to prod him. Got to inspire him. And Josh Hart and the rest of the crew are doing their thing. Mitchell Robinson didn't play last night. Didn't have that rim protection. Didn't have that back and point call. Carl Anthony Towns got in foul trouble. 27 minutes. Still in all, they managed to close the deal because the New York Knicks were supposed to. The real issue here is OG because of how important he has been to the New York Knicks' success. Make no mistake, we need him. Got to remember, had a hamstring injury earlier this season in November into December. He missed 10 games. He missed 10 games because that. This is the regular season. This is the postseason. But we always hear about how hamstring injuries linger, whatever. I'm trying to get to the NBA Finals. That's what I'm trying to do if I'm the New York Knicks. And I need OG in order to pull that off. So to me, right now, awaiting this news, waiting to hear what the situation is involving him is far more important right now. That is the story for me at this moment in time.
Well, Stephen A., Brick, whatever you want to be today, look, I'm down with it, but you better continue to pray. Because Jalen Brunson is the best player, big body Brunson. Carl Anthony Towns is the most important player, but OG Anunoby is the X factor. And the New York Knicks are not making it out of the East without OG Anunoby being healthy. And to be honest with you, with OG Anunoby and the way he's been playing of this entire postseason, one could argue that the Knicks could win it all. I said it last week, and I really stand on that and believe that. Here's the bigger topic. Put me up on the screen with everybody because I need to see this. I know I'm a ruffle the feathers. Hey, Legend, what's going on, Legend? What's going on, Legend? Good morning to you. Big bro, listen. The bigger issue is that it woke me up when I saw OG Anunoby had to be taken out the game last night. And I know I've been critical of Steve Kerr's comments. I've been critical of Greg Popovich for starting load management. But we got a bigger issue here. And I'm starting to lean more towards what they've been saying over the past. You know, one, we might need to take out this 62-game rule that the NBA has put in place. Because if you look at the history, 65 games, excuse me. If you look at the history of what's been happening with soft tissue injuries, okay? Aaron Gordon, soft tissue injury. J-Dub, hamstring. Luka, hamstring. Jason Tatum, I know that's a little different, but still, on the other side, calf strain, right? And he was out. So you start to think about Anthony Edwards, and you look at Steph Curry at in the play-in tournament, and I Googled runner's knee, and the first word that popped up was overuse. And my thing is that we have to put something in place because in the postseason, I want to see people at their full strengths. I want to see teams fully healthy. And we're not seeing that right now. It's a problem in our league. And I know the old heads today, you, the legend Mike Wilborn, y'all know y'all used to, guys playing 82 games and playing through a season, but it's a lot different now. The pace of the play has picked up, so it's a different conversation.
I don't disagree with you, but you know the only adjustment that can be made is shortening the regular season, which neither side is going to do. The owners don't want to give up 10 dates, maybe 5 home dates. The players aren't going to want to have their paychecks rearranged. So it's not going to happen. You are 100% right. If the season was 70 games,
when I got a pay cut, James helped me get cash up to $500 in 5 minutes or less.
you know, a lot that was product. Look at the increase of taking over this postseason. By the way, not just this is the over. We started seeing this, I don't know, Durant and Klay Thompson and Steph. We're talking about the biggest stars in the game, future.
And everything is going for him right now. Los Angeles leading by 8.
And this playoff run, it's like, okay, I'm getting
We've got 123 left in the first quarter.
Looking off, and I agree with you guys that's over. I don't know.
Mutombo against English. That runs in his first shot this game.
I don't know that I'm going to that.
And incredible play on both ends of the floor. Maybe two big rebounds.
For one game 3.
On the wing line, we speak of Brown, hands to Shan. The ball guarded by the Kings. Referee Stephen. That runs in his first shot this game. And the action on hold, as it appears there's been an injury. Yep, he's definitely
and they all been hurt
right now. Tough to see.
That last try.
You just really can't control or even guard against, and that's injury.
Yeah,
that last going home anyway.
But at this point, all we can do is hope he's not gone for too long. Miles check in for the Kings. Johnson with a screen on Mutombo. Tries from 10. Rebound by Mutombo. And so hard to bring it up for Sacramento. 7-point differential. That's not good. Harden's got 7 points. That's work against Robertson. Now here's Westbrook. Off in time to beat the shot clock, but it's no good. That one, no good. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Lakers ahead, up 5. 5 from goal and 1.
We need him on the basketball court. But I would say it's a combination of both. That
and guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown for Los Angeles.
Well, they've set the tone early with their pace. So important to capitalize on transition opportunities, and it keeps the defense off balance.
They got Lucas already out there with Dominic Wilkins, and it's Mutombo, and it's Giannis at the three. That's the foul out there for the Kings. Sacramento making a switch here. Kids check in, and they're calling illegal screen. Mullins checked in for the Kings.
Get on him because somebody traded 4 picks for him.
Lakers leading by 7. With it, Duncan with his screen on Mullins. Duncan right side. Duncan drawing the double team. There's Brown with the three. Ingles bounces the ball.
All right, so what? We know this already. Why you think riding this nigga all the time? Can you debate this nigga? You can't debate him? Because he knows more than you? Shut the fuck that nigga. Nobody even cares about this dude.
Fires from the wing. A rebound by the Lakers. They've led by as much as 10. Here's Brown. It's tipped. Wilkins against Brown. That's to Mutombo. Here's Antetokounmpo. Wilkins kicks to Mullins. Lucas the pass to Mutombo. Now here's Mullins.
I feel that.
Lakers leading by 7. Brown defending for the goal. Now in the post, he's up against Mutombo, and it's sent back by Mutombo. It's Wilkins with the drive. It's hauled in by Brown.
Well, I'm surprised that didn't fall for him. We know that it's a shot he can hit, and there wasn't much resistance either.
Using that reach to track down the block.
Brown outside. Here's Harden. Good D by Wilkins. The Kings trail by 7. Guys are looking for a strike here.
Yeah, did a cold stretch offensively, for sure. Just pushed the ticket on that one. That one got the job done.
Powerful two-hand jam. And so J.J. Redick will call a timeout. He made the decision that his guys into a next strategy.
Better than that. Just be who you've been. Beat that 18 to 20 points per game scorer who's giving you about 75 games a year. Who's on the court for 35 minutes, being an elite defender. Give us that at least. That's all I'm going to say. But give me 82 right there. We'll give you 82 every year. That's how we go to get 82. And I appreciate the great fact that always like to see him. I was just agitated. I got to agitate. This nigga is not here, folks. I got to.
And some changes in for the Kings. Miles check in for Lucas. James Harden comes in for Antetokounmpo. And it's Robinson in for Mullins. And then for Los Angeles, Hastings is checked in for Young. Iverson comes in for Duncan. And Marcus Marcus subbed in for James Harden.
But there's no replacing OG animal.
Let's look against Robinson. Outside Westbrook.
And his first experience, he cannot defend.
And they'll turn over to Duncan.
We saw that night when the Richmond Small, they were small history shooters. That's how versatile he is on both ends of the floor. He does, but he's knocking out the ball. He has done an outstanding job for the good offensive stance that they're running for, like, quote unquote, the Golden State system. he has benefited from that. When OGA players is that healthy, he does have better shot than he did at Reds in the NBA championship.
We still see it a lot. It's a tough thing to police.
Got him off that court. And then he had that. The Knicks could afford to be out without losing the next 2 games. And you know what? Don't bring him back. Give him that rest for the rest of the game. Let's see that really unproductive trips in a row in the internal.
Minute 42 left to play in the first half. Back to Harden. Outside Mullen. The ball moved over by the Kings. Al Harden. 7 points in the game. Will not go. This is off the front out. On the wing, Iverson. Guarded by Harden. And again,
take advantage of the expert management portfolio and the RoundMoments strategies. With advanced insights, our advisors will spot opportunities to align to your goals and your ambition just for this match.
Mutombo sets a screen from deep Harden. Hastings grabs the board. Lakers lead by 5. Takes the three. There's 37 seconds left in the first half of the game. Back to Iverson. And that's collected by Love. Sacramento's gone 0-2 from the game. And it's Mullen that John on the assist by Robertson. Lakers with the rebound. Crow's got 4 rebounds right tonight.
And I understand Hastings is long when it comes to his injuries of the hands. But everything else has set the ball in my opinion. Right? And if you think about him saying, the doctors were on the spot. He wanted to play with the organization said, well, after the other show, he said, ultimately has the last word. And for me, if you're Joel Embiid, you can't look at this prime like everybody else's prime, right? You only have a short window to max him out. And right now, yes, we have the Knicks. A lot of us have the Knicks favored to win this series, and rightfully so. But let's be honest, Joel Embiid on the floor is a difference maker. Joel Embiid on that floor last night is a huge difference maker, especially when the Knicks went cold. The 76ers went cold in the fourth quarter and couldn't make a shot. Joel Embiid, if he brings that balance of being able to get some buckets and get to the free throw line when you're struggling from shooting from the outside. So again, when you look at Joel Embiid, I'm saying to myself, hey bro, at some point you gotta put your foot down. If you wanted to play, get out there. Take a shot. Put it on the line. Let all out on the line up for your team to get out there on the floor. So again, yes, he should take some criticism for missing game 2.
Let me jump in for a second, having been at Madison Square Garden last night. One of the things that after they found out mid-afternoon
still alive,
that Joel Embiid that game, they probably wish they with hindsight.
Well, I think those
sat him on Monday night, the game 1. Because obviously Monday was a physical struggle coming off the game 7 with Boston. If they let him sit out Monday night and had him back for last night, we saw what happened in the previous series, even in the Boston series. Remember, he didn't play that whole series.
That is more than enough of us. Let's send you back to the game.
But here's why I am reluctant to criticize Joel. His body is not stood up, and apparently is not capable of standing up to the rigors of an 82-game, really 100-game, we count playoffs, nearly 100 games. This isn't. We've seen this we see this in NBA. We saw what the great
Joining us as we get back to the action on the court. It's been quite a game for Captain Clutch.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting everything on the rim. He's playing smart and just taking what the defense gives him.
The demands of a nearly 100-game season, and that's been Joel Embiid. You reminded me of this early on. He missed his first two seasons. He still be out there and play. I don't think he's played 3 games once if he had only 1 time. So he shouldn't have been surprised by that. The Sixers players know how to play without him. They nearly got away with one. More than one thing can be true. With Joel Embiid in that game last night, Maxi's not hanging off tired. Paul George is not hanging off tired. Those guys went out reacting late. Lead on the floor. It's unlikely to happen. But I respect him to be out for one night. And this game is going to be one.
Taking a look at Los Angeles. We've got Russell Westbrook dunking out there with Hastings. Then there's Johnson and it's Iverson in at the 2 guard.
All right.
Here's Robertson, hits it out to Harden. Off target from outside. Yeah, you wonder what is he thinking right now.
You got to make that hold. No point. You won't give up another first half.
Los Angeles leading by 5. Here's Hastings. He's got 9.
He gave 1.
Matumbo with some nice game. Got a great start to the second half. 1 to 4. Got to find ways to generate offense. Here's Love. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Duncan's got his 5th rebound in this one. Iverson passes to Hastings.
And you show her an ability to overcome that. Everything about
Hastings got 11. He's a reason why they're running right now. He's been efficient offensively and his confidence continues to grow.
And Doug Christie wants a timeout. He's ready to talk things through with him. When you talk about his window for his prime, it's not the same as everyone else. The 76ers was the window even a lot. I guarantee you they have belief in their locker room that they can win the NBA championship. They're probably reaching that. People that came back against Boston and did what we did that they did.